This is the first time in a while we haven't been at State Farm Stadium doing a show.
Man, it feels good to be back in Studio Shangri-La.
Well, don't get used to it because we're back at State Farm Stadium tomorrow and Friday, which is pretty fantastic.
Yeah, let's see. Pads on, too, right?
Yeah, that's
Thursday
as far as I know.
and Friday, right?
I believe. They don't run these decisions by me, but I'm pretty sure.
Good, yeah. I think it's Thursday and Friday. I think the pads are going on.
The Cardinals have really hooked us up with some good guests, too, the last few days. Marvin Harrison Jr. being the one yesterday that we got to speak to. And you know, we had Marv on last year, Wolf, and I thought he gave us good answers last year. I thought, that was kind of our first time really meeting him face to face. But I thought yesterday, and it makes sense, he's going into year two, he gave a lot more insight onto kind of what last year was like and what he's looking forward to this year, but also like what he means to the Cardinals offense and where that's going this year.
Last year was so big for him because as a rookie, you're building your foundation. That's what you're doing. Now we're seeing the fruit of him building that foundation last year.
Yeah.
Okay. It wasn't a great year. We all understand. It wasn't a year that we all maybe expected, but it wasn't a bad year by any stretch of the imagination. And yet he built the foundation and he's standing on that foundation here in year two. And you could see it on his face and hear it in his voice when we were talking to him about these questions we asked.
You and I were talking before we had him on yesterday, and I threw this scenario at you of if this were the early 90s and there was no social media and he had not been hyped up as the next greatest receiver in the history of the NFL, if he just came in, even if you took him with the 4th overall pick and he had the season he had, as a teammate, would you have been disappointed? And you said, no, not really. I mean, a lot of it's the hype machine. Now, they did take him with a top 5 pick. Obviously, you're looking to get more out of him in year 2, no matter what he did last year. But it was interesting talking to him specifically yesterday, Wolf. He clearly was not satisfied with the way last year went. And he made it a point to say, it's not about the numbers so much. It's about, what he can do to help the team win. And I believe him because he's been consistent with that his entire time that he's been in the spotlight, even at Ohio State. So we talked to him about some of the more specific X's and O's, like the benefit of him being in motion more this season.
It just puts the defense on the toes a little bit instead of just having me lined up in one spot. I think motion within any offense, no matter who it is, definitely gets the defense to communicate. They have to, communicate what they're going to do, how they're going to adjust to the coverage. So anytime you get to, move the players around, and thankfully it's, been me a little bit more in this preseason. I think it definitely helps, me and my abilities in my game, but also the team as well.
Yeah, it really is going to help the team a lot. Last year, I understand why they did it. I talked about this before. Marvin Harrison Jr. didn't want to put too much on that rookie's plate. So you just go ahead and you split him out. He's the X receiver. That's what he is. Kyler-Marv, it's going to be really clear to you. We're going to try to clear up coverage for you by actually putting him out there, and we'll find out how the secondary is configured. Based on down and distance, based on personnel group. We're going to figure it out, and we're going to simplify the process to help this chemistry build. Now we're seeing something altogether different. When you start moving Marvin Harrison Jr. around, what you're saying is you're not worried about him making mental errors, and you're not worried about Kyler actually reading the coverage. It will help Marvin Harrison Jr., and Kyler is ready to take that next step as well. So now all of a sudden we're going to see a more advanced version of the Arizona Cardinals Desert Storm offense.
You should be. It seems like they're going to be in a position where you can use Marv as a weapon before you even snap the ball. Like he just said, make the defense have to make adjustments and communicate and just put them under more distress before the ball even gets snapped. He also talked about why he loves being in motion so much.
One, you're not going to get the just press coverage every single play. You got to move around. You might get some off coverage. You might get some mismatches on a safety. You might get a nickel. So there's different things that being in motion does for you that instead of just lining out there in X every single time, you just got to be precious.
Yeah, I love that. That's really nice. You get to move around. You don't have press coverage all the time. You can't do that. Guy can't press you for the most part. He can go in motion with you and be ready to guard you. Yet you've got a little room, of course, to work with when you're going in motion like that. Yet at the same time, Marv, maybe you don't want to go in motion very often because maybe now with your strength and your size, maybe you want to go ahead, walk up on me, bro.
He did tell us that yesterday too. We asked him about putting the muscle on and everything. And he didn't say it was just to beat the press, but he did mention that he brought it up on his own.
No, there's no doubt it's going to help him beat the press. So maybe you want that guy. Go ahead. I dare you. Walk up on here. I'm going to slap you around, and we're going to go on a fade. And that's why it's so important to me that Kyler and Marvin Harrison Jr., base Orleans, if you see this, if you see press man coverage on the outside and you see him run a fade, many times that's a conversion. Many times that's what they do. Hey, listen, if there's no safety help over the top, we're going to run a fade on this. Every route is going to change. We're going to run a fade on this. And if you can get really, really good at throwing that fade route, because Marv is really good at getting off the press and jamming that corner and being physical with that corner and getting down the field. And now that chemistry develops between Kyler and Marv. That in itself is going to change the way this offense
It's like
runs.
Kyler was saying, 2 days ago now, too. Sometimes being really good is boring in the sense of if they're going to give you that, if there's not safety help over the top against Marv, then just keep running it. I mean, you don't have to get fancy. Just keep running that. Just keep taking your 9 or 10 yards per play. Because, look, Marv was not small last year.
No.
But you can see it out there, and the Cardinals have some good corners, but he just looks, and it's just kind of a reminder, most of the time he lines up in games this year, he's going to be substantially bigger than the guy that's lined up against him if it's a one-on-one situation with a corner. Can
I just say this, and I'm not I promise you, Base Orleans, I'm not overreacting here. Maybe a little, but I'm not. For me, I think I've seen Marv make more contested catches already this far into camp from all of last year's training camp.
I'm with you. And I tell me if I'm wrong on this, because you've seen a little bit more.
So you would agree with that?
I would agree with that. And I would also say when you watch them in teams, it seems like Kyler is either go to Trey McBride, go to Marv. Go to Trey McBride, go to Marv. And one of them always seems to be open.
It's funny the way that works when you're good.
Yeah, I mean, in theory, again, I said this yesterday, logically, this offense makes a lot of sense. When you have two weapons like that, as Marv told us yesterday, they're often going to be on opposite sides of the field so they can stretch that defense out before the ball even gets snapped.
You know what? It's exciting to talk about this, Base Orleans, and it does get me all jacked up, yet at the same time, we all understand what they need to do.
Prove it. Yeah.
Talking about it all day long does jack.
The Cardinals are in a situation, and not that this matters to the players, but I'm just saying in general, the hype that would surround this team in this city has taken a hit because of the Sun season and the Diamondback season, where I think a lot of people are, it's like, yeah, I'm getting excited, but also I have to see this on Sundays in November and December. And some of that's the Cardinals' recent years struggling in the second half of the season, but some of that is, man, you look on paper, the Diamondbacks should be one of the final four teams standing this year. So yeah, I'm with you. Prove it.
Thanks for watching Wolf and Luke. Tap to see more and click the button in the middle to subscribe to Arizona Sports.